Hi everyone, a warm welcome to the next session on Java programming. In the previous session, we have seen an example program regarding the single dimension array. And in today's session, we will concentrate on multi-dimensional array, syntax, declaration, initialization, and accessing of values in a multi-dimensional array. So before going to see the multi-dimensional array, I want to show one more program on single dimensional array where that program will add two arrays and print the result in third array, right? So let us move to the programming window, that is edit plus, and let us start working with the addition of two arrays in Java. So this is edit plus. Now in this I am going to take a new, one second, just a second, it is already opened, I think. Yeah, right. So it is a program what we have seen in the previous session. Now we are going to see a new program in which we will add two arrays, right? So it is addition of array, that's why I'm defining this one as a addition of array, right? Inside the main method, inside the public static void main string args, right? I want to make use of three arrays here, because two arrays will store input values and one array will store the result of the addition, right? Before going to declare the variables, here I want to take the variables during the runtime of the program. So we have to import a package called as java.util.star. The people who don't understand why we are using this statement, please watch the previous session, yesterday's session. There I have explained what is the use of this util package. This util package contains a class called as scanner class, and by using the scanner class we are going to take the inputs from the keyboard during the runtime of a Java program, right? So and then inside this one, first I am going to create an object for scanner class space obj equal to new scanner, right? I want to take the inputs, so I need to use system.in. When I want to print the output, we are using system.out. Similarly, when I want to take the inputs, I need to use system.in. So here I have missed some equal to symbol, so scanner space obj equal to new scanner of system.in, right? Now if we are working with addition of two numbers program, we will define three variables. Similarly, we are working with addition of two arrays, we have to use three arrays. Before going to see the arrays concept, let us start writing the addition of two numbers program by taking the values from the keyboard. Okay, here I am defining, right, before this one I am defining int a comma b comma and c. I'm sorry, int a comma b comma c. So there are three variables, right? Among those three variables, right, enter the user, ask the user to enter the values for a and b. So in order to ask the user, I need to use system dot, I'm very sorry, dot out dot println. I want to ask the user to enter the values. Please enter two values for addition. Please enter two values for addition, semicolon. And now user is ready to enter the values, and it is our turn to read the values from the keyboard. In order to read the values from the keyboard, we have to write some statement called as a. We want to store the value in a equal to, right, a equal to, we need to use the object of scanner class. So the object of scanner class is obj dot a is an integer value. So we have to use next int here. It is a method which is going to take the integer input values. As I said in the previous session, if we want to take float values, you have to mention this particular statement as next float. If we want to take the character values, we have to mention the statement as next char. So this is how we have to make some changes in the code when we are reading different data type values. Next one. So we have asked for two values. So the given first value will be stored in A, and we need to store the second value in B. So we have to give B equal to obj.nextInt, and now we have to write for C equal to, we want to add this A and B. So the first given value is stored in A with the statement at line number 9, and the second given value is stored in B with the statement at line number 10, and the third statement, that is at the statement at line number 11, will add both the values and it will store the values inside C. Now I want to print the value which is inside the C. System.out.println, the addition result of given two values is, right, is, I'm using one more system.out.println statement here, is the value is stored in C. That's why I have mentioned C here, right? And I'm closing the program. Now let us see what will happen to this code. Before going to see what will happen, let us save this code with capital A, small a dot Java, because the class name is AA. That's why I'm saving this as AA.java. And I'm going to compile this code. The code has been successfully compiled, and I'm going to run the code. So if I run the code, it is asking something called as please enter the values. Right? Let us compare both the things. Let us compare both these things, right? So the statement here was reflected here. Please enter the values. Please enter two values for addition. It was reflected there. Now the given first value, if I try to enter the first value here, for example, if I have given something called as 25, so that 25 will be stored in A, right? 25 will be stored in A. After that, I have given something called as 30. So the value of 30 will be stored in B, right? Here, C equal to A plus B means it will add 25 and 30, will add 25 and 30. So the resultant is 55, right? And this 55 is stored in C, right? And now what we have done is we have printed something called as the addition of result is. The addition of result is C. The C value is 35. I'm sorry, C value is 55. Okay. So now if you press enter, it will print the addition result of given two values is 55. This is how we can add two numbers by taking the numbers from the keyboard. Now let us change this one. Let us change this one to array. So if I want to declare these three things as an array, right, let us use int a equal to new, right, new int of each and in each and every array I want to have 5 values, semicolon, the statement has been completed, and then again int b, right, equal to new int of 5. So the second array, that is b, the declaration and creation of an array is completed b, and we have third array, that is int c equal to new int of 5. So the declaration and creation of 3 arrays have been completed. One second. I'm sorry for the delay. Now I have created the third array. Now what I want to do is, I am asking please enter values for addition. Please enter the values. Please enter values in the first array. Please enter the values in the first array, right? So now what I want to do is, I need to take a for loop, because it is not a single value, we have to iterate the loop. So for this I am going to take a for loop. Inside the for loop, value of int I equal to 0, right, and I less than or equal to 4, because the maximum index is 4, and I plus plus, right, inside this one, right, inside this one, here I am going to give a of I equal to obj dot next string. So it will initialize the values in the first array. Now I am copying this one, right, I am copying this one, and I am going to paste the things after this one, right. Instead of first array, I am going to take second array, right. Instead of first array, I am going to take the second array, and I want to copy the code, right. I'm copying the code, and I am replacing the statement with the following code. Here I am going to use instead of a of I am going to take b of I. Instead of a of I am going to take b of I, because we need to initialize the values of b of I. Now here, instead of using this statement, right, I need to use c of I, a of I, b of I, where we need to keep this particular statement also inside the for loop. Inside the for loop. So the addition will be performed here, right? It is initialization of first array. It is the initialization of second array. It is the addition of elements of first array and second array. And now here, right here, what we have to do is, right, we need to use something called as something called as the result of array addition. Result of array addition is, right, is here we need to have something called as I, and the I value should be changed in between 0 and 4. I am keeping this one inside the braces, right. Now this is how we can add 2 arrays, and we can print the result of those 2 arrays to the single dimensional arrays. Okay, so here I have declared 3 arrays A, B, C, whose size is 5, and I have created an object for scanner class. And after creating an object for scanner class, I am asking some values into first array, and I am reading the values into first array by using a for loop, and I am asking the values into second array, and I am reading the values into second array by using the for loop. After reading both the values, I am going to add the array values in A and B, and I am storing the result in C. Okay, so, and then I have printed the output of the addition. Let us save this code and compile the code and then run the code. I'm saving this code. It is already saved with a.java. Now I'm going to compile the code. So if I try to compile, it has no errors. Now I'm trying to run the code. So it is asking to enter the values into first array. It is asking to enter the values into first array. Please see this one. Please compare the output with the things here. I'm comparing output with the things here. Right. So it is the result of this particular statement, and then it is asking to enter the values into first array. So let us check how many values it will take. Let us check how many values it will take. For example, I am going to enter 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So when I entered 5 values, it has asked, it is executing this particular statement. So you can see here, right? So the result of this one is this, please enter the values into first array. And here we have given something called as I, that I value is changing from 0 and 4. That means we will get a of 0, a of 1, right? A of 2, a of 3, and a of 4. We get all these things. So the given first value 10 will be stored in a of 0, 20 will be stored in a of 1, 30 will be stored in a of 2, 40 will be stored in a of 3, and 50 will be stored in a of 4. Right? And similarly, right, the result of this particular statement is this one. Please enter the values into second array. Right? If I try to enter the values into second array, and this is the code which belongs to second array, so it is also going to take the values indices between 0 to 4. That means total 5 values can be accommodated in array name B. So here what I'm going to give is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm going to initialize with the same values. So after giving initialization, these values will also be stored in something called as B of 0, B of 1, B of 2, and then B of 3, and then B of 4, right? B of 4. So 10 will be stored in B of 0, 20 will be stored in B of 1, 30 will be stored in B of 2, 40 will be stored in B of 3, and 50 will be stored in B of 4. So total it has accommodated 5 values. So inside the array A, we have 10 to 50, and inside the array B, we have 10 to 50. So now if I press enter here at this particular statement, I will get an output that 20, right, 40, and then 60, 80, and 100. Why we are getting this one? In the sense, we try to add a of 0 with b of 0, a of 1 with b of 1, a of 2 with b of 2, a of 3 with b of 3, and a of 4 with b of 4. Right? So the logic has been written here. You can see here. Here we have iterated a loop. We have iterated a loop in I equal to 0, I less than or equal to 4, I plus plus. So the initial value of I is 0, and each and every time the value of I will be incremented by 1. So initially C of 0 will store the value which is at A of 0 plus B of 0. So at A of 0 we have 10, and at B of 0 we have 10. So 10 plus 10, 20 will be stored at C of 0. And then I value will get incremented by 1. Now I value will become 1, and the C of 1 will store A of 1 plus B of 1. If you observe here, A of 1 is 20 and B of 1 is 20. So 20 plus 20, 40 will be stored at C of 1. And similarly, when I value became 4, C of 4 will store the values at A of 4 plus B of 4. So at A of 4, we have 50, and at B of 4, we have 50. So 50 plus 50, 100 will be stored at C of 4. So this is how the values will get added, and the values will be stored in the respective locations of the indices of the array of C. Right? Let us check what happens if I press enter here. So if I press enter, it has given the result of array addition is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 as we expected. So this is how, right? This is how we can print the values. we can add the values which are present in the two arrays. Now it is very simple. After writing this particular program, I don't want to add, I want to multiply all the values which are in both the arrays. If I want to multiply, just by changing the symbol plus into star will multiply all the things. So now what we get is 10 into 10, we get 100, 20 into 20, we get 400, 30 into 30, we get 900, 40 into 40, we get 1600, and 50 into 50, we get something called as. Now let us save the code before going to execute the code. Right, I'm closing this output. Okay, let us save the code and compile the code. Right, we don't find any errors here, and then run the code. So it is asking for values. I have given 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And again for the second array, I'm going to give 10 to 50. Now if you observe, it has given the value 100, 400, 900, 1600, and 2500. So here the result, we have to change this one because we multiplied the array. Array addition should be replaced with multiplication, right? Now you can compile and run the code. I just compile the code and I'm running the code. If I run the code, it is again asking, so you can give here, or instead of giving 10, 20, let us give 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see 10 into 1 equal to 10, 20 into 2 equal to 40, 3 into 3 equal to 9, 4 into 4 equal to 16, and 5 into 5 equal to 25. So this is how we can make addition of two arrays or multiplication of two arrays by using this particular code. Or simply we can divide the values in one array with another array, or we can subtract the values with one array into another array by just changing one symbol. You can do wonders in Java programming. Now, let us look at the multi-dimensional arrays. Let us move to the PPT here. Let us look at the multi-dimensional arrays. Here it is. Here you can see how we can declare multi-dimensional arrays. So these are the following ways of how to declare a multi-dimensional array. So as we seen earlier, in the single dimensional array, we can use the subscript after the data type or before the name of the array or after the name of the array. Similarly, here also, we can use the subscript after the data type, after the name of the array, before the name of the array, and one script before the name and one subscript after the name of the array. So when we say multi-dimensional, so these two things, there will be two subscripts here. There will be two subscripts. So these two subscripts will store the values once in rows and one will represent the columns, right? So let us see the declaration of multi-dimensional array here in the programming window so that it will be very clear for you. I'm going to take one more new Java program, right? Here we are dealing with multi-dimensional array. That's why I'm using MA as a class name, multi-dimensional arrays. Now here, let us see how we can define multi-dimensional array. First one is data type. If my array name is A, and you can use this type of declaration, right? Or you can follow int, this type of declaration, or you can give this type of declaration, or you can have this type of declaration. So all these four things represents declaration of an array. So we can represent arrays in any one of these types, right? We can represent. It is called as declaration. declaration of an array, right? Now let us look at how we can create that array. So we can create that array by using the new keyword. For example, if A is the name of the array, A equal to new, right? So the data type of the array is integer, new int, and we have to mention the size of an array. So if you take the size as 5, then it will accommodate up to 25 values. So it is very lengthy. Let us start with 2 of 2. So it will store 2 into 2, 4 values can be stored inside this particular array, right? So this part is called as creation of an array, right? It is called as creation of an array. Now let us look at how we can initialize the values into array, right? So if we declare like this, there will be 4 things, that is A of 0, 0, right? And then A of 0, 1, and then A of 1, 0, and then A of 1 and 1. There are 4 things: A of 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. So the values will be stored at these particular locations, right? We will see it later. No, it's not a problem. So let us move to the PPT slide and let us see the next point in the PPT. After that, we can move to this programming window. So you can see here, you can declare an multi-dimensional array in any of the following ways. In any of the following ways, these following ways are the valid ways in order to declare an array, multi-dimensional array. And you can create an array in this way. You can have the number of rows and number of columns here. Here I want to have only 2 rows and 2 columns. That's why I have mentioned into 2 of 2. But if you want to have 5 rows and 5 columns, you can represent with into 5 of 5. Right? So after declaring arrays similar to this one, so let us see, let us move to the PPT. Let us move to the next slide, right? It is the next slide here. You can see here, multi-dimensional arrays not only states only 2 dimensions. We have 2D arrays, 3D arrays, 4D arrays, and 5D arrays. If I say 2D, there will be rows and columns. If I say 3D, there will be something called as this particular, something like this particular shape. Okay, so just a second. Right? So if I say 4D, there will be 4 dimensions. So if we have one subscript, for example, if we have it, if A is an array, if we have only one subscript, it is called as 1D array, one dimensional array. And if we have 2 subscripts, it is called as 2-dimension array. I'm sorry. It is called as 2-dimensional array. And if we have 3 subscripts, that means 3 subscripts bases, it is called as 3D array. And if we have 10 subscripts, it is called as 10D array, which is called as 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, 4 dimension, and n dimension arrays, right? So if I have given, right, if I have given something called as A of 3, 3, I have given something called as A of 3 and 3, which means it can accommodate total 3 into 3, 9 values. So those 9 values can be accommodated in the places 0, 0, that means A of 0, 0, A of 0, 1. Let us take this one as X. If you take this one as X, right, X, so the first value will be at X of 0, 0, X of 0, 1, X of 0, 2, which means for row 0, we will iterate with the column 1, column 2, and column 3. That means for row 0, we will iterate with column 0, column 1, column 2. It is row, right? It is column. These 3 are called column. For next row 1, again we iterate with column 0, column 1, and column 2. And for row 2, we iterate with column 0, column 1, and column 2. So you can observe for each and every row, we are getting 3 values, 3 plus 3 plus 3. Total 9 values will be accommodated when we use this multidimensional array whose size is 3 of 3. Okay, so let us move to the next slide. So this is how we can initialize. This is how we can create a multidimensional array int something ARR equal to new int of 3 3, which means the 9 values can be accommodated here. Those 9 values can be accommodated as 0 0 0 1 0 2, 1 0 1 1 1 2, 2 0 2 1 2 2. So the maximum index is 2 comma 2 and the minimum index is 0 comma 0. So we can accommodate the values at particular indices. Okay, let us see in the programming window so that it will be very clear for you. I am deleting all these things, right? I hope you all understand how to declare a multidimensional array, right? New int equal to, right? Int a of something equal to new int of new int. Here I am going to define an array with size 3 3. So it will accommodate up to 9 values. I want those values to be taken from the keyboard. So I need to import a package called as java.util.start, which will import a class name called as scanner class. So in order to take the inputs from the scanner class, I need to create an object for scanner class. For example, scanner space obj equal to new scanner of system dot in. After creating an object for scanner class, right? So here I want to ask the user to enter the values into that particular multidimensional array. So I'm using system.out.println. Please enter, right? Please enter 9 values into the array. So now the user is ready to enter the values. So here what we have to do is we have to store the values at a of 0 1 equal to, first value should be not a of 0 1, it is a of 0 0. The first value will be stored at a of 0 0. We have to give obj dot, we are reading the integer values, so we have to provide next int, right? And we have to repeat the statement for 9 number of times, right? Initially it is a of 0, then we have to make it a of 1, and then we have to make it a of 2, and now we have to make it right 1 0 1, it is 1 1, it is 1 2 2 0, I'm sorry, and then it is 2 1, and it is 2 2. So total 9 number of values will be accommodated at first value will be accommodated at 0 0, second one will be at 1 0 1, third one will be at 0 2, 1 0 1 1 1 2, seventh one will be at 2 0, eighth one will be at 2 1, and ninth one will be at 2 2. Now what I want to do is I want to print the values which has been entered in this array. So system dot out dot println, the user had entered the following values. Right? I need to use system.out.println to print all the values. System.out.println. The first value is at a of 0 0. So I have used it to print this one. Right? Now let us copy the code. Right? Let us copy the code and paste the code for 9 number of times in order to print all the values at a of 0 0, a of 1, a of 0 2, a of 1 0, a of 1 1, and then a of 1 2, and then a of 2 0, a of 2 1, and then a of 2 and 2. Right? So this is how we can create a multi-dimensional array, and we can create a multi-dimensional array, and then we can initialize that multi-dimensional array, and then we can print the values in that multi-dimensional array. Right? This is one way. It will be very good when we have a small number of things, but if there are large values to be read from the keyboard, and if there are large number of values, not large in size, large in count, right? If there are large number of values to be print over the output screen, we can use the for loop. I will explain it later in the next class, right? So let us save the code first. So the program name is ma.java. Now I'm going to compile the code first. So if I compile, I don't get any errors, and I'm going to run the code. If I run, it is asking to enter for 9 number of values. So it is the output of this particular code. You can just made them side by side. You can see here, please enter 9 values, right? So it is asking to enter for 9 values. Now I am ready to enter the 9 values. So my 9 values are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I'm sorry. One second, I'm going to enter the 9 values. My 9 values are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. So these are my 9 values. So these 9 values will be stored at this particular location. So the given 10 value will be stored at the location A0 of 0, and then the given second value will be stored at A0 of 1 index, and the given third value will be stored at A of 1 index. So sorry, A of 02 index. So at A of 02 we have the value of 30, and at A of 010 we have the value of 40, and A of 11 we have the value of 50, and at A of 12 we have the value of 60, and similarly the remaining things. So this is how the values will be stored at respected locations. After storing the values at particular respected locations, we have to print all those values. So if I make a press on the enter key, it has printed the values, something called as the user had entered the following values. So I have entered 10 first. So the value of 10 has been reflected here, and the value of 20, right, and the value of 30, value of 40, and the 50, 60, and 70, and 80, and 90. So this is the way of how we can have we can create a multi-dimensional array. We can initialize that multi-dimensional array, and we can run the multi-dimensional array. I hope you all understand the session, and in the next session we will meet you with the addition of 2 matrices by using a multi-dimensional array, and multiplication of 2 matrices by using multi-dimensional array. So if you have any doubts regarding today's session, you can make a comment in the comment box. Right? I hope you all got some enough knowledge regarding the multi-dimensional arrays in today's session. These all the things are already explained in the C programming language also. In C programming language also, we have covered the single dimensional arrays, multi-dimensional arrays, etc. Things are very much common. Things are 99.99% common with C programming language. Don't worry. So in the next session, we will meet you with the multi-dimensional array. And I really thank each and every listener of this video for being here from the last 40 minutes. And we will meet you in the next session with multi-dimensional arrays. Thank you very much, and thanks a lot.